One area that doesn't get a lot of attention has to be the smaller truck market. Heck, there's just not a lot of offerings, but one such case is behind me. Hey, welcome to this edition of Road Warrior. I'm your host, Grant Roberson. Now, what we have here is a 2016 Chevy Colorado, but there's one little feature on this vehicle that may be a big surprise. When you look at the Colorado and try to classify it, well, where does it fall? Is it a compact, mid-size, heck, even full-size? The reason for that is by the overall numbers, because this kind of goes up against the big boys, even the Chevy Silverado. Now, when you look at the exterior, I like the fact that even though this is supposedly smaller, it still looks beefy, and a lot of people are going to that because it does feel smaller, but still delivers full-size options. One place to look really is at the haunches. Now, this is the Z71 off-road package, so we do have a kind of beefy look with the tires, and we like the fact that at the four corners we have some nice haunches. Now, when you sweep down, this vehicle is somewhat low to the ground, and where you're going to notice that is on the ingress. One feature you definitely don't need is these side step rails. Now, what it does is really make this vehicle look a little bit more aggressive, but one thing it does is make it more of a shin banger when you try to climb inside. The biggest surprise in this vehicle is not the fact that it's four-wheel drive or trying to figure out the classification on it. Actually, it's what lies beneath the hood. Now, what you're going to find here isn't really standard operating procedure and actually takes this vehicle to the next level. What we have here is a 2.8 liter turbo diesel engine. Now, it's going to be a small block, of course, and deliver decent horsepower, around about 181, but the true number is the torque. That's going to be 369, and that's going to come in low RPM range, giving you a lot of bang off the line and a lot of pulling power. Now, when it comes to towing capacity, what I like is the standard kind of V6. It's going to be around about 7,000 pounds. Not too bad. What we see here is 7,700 pounds on a two-wheel drive model. Now, with this four-wheel drive, not too shabby either. You're going to lose about 100 pounds, but still decent to take the big boy toys to the lake. The Colorado definitely has an aggressive profile, but one area that has to go with the contenders is the grille warfare. Now, what I like here is this truly is a big boy attitude front end, and where you see that is right across the center area. Now, of course, this is an off-road version, so what we want to do up here is not deliver any chrome ready to take it to the prom. We want more of what we see here. Nice rubber cladding, black fascia, body color, and I like the fact that we extend the total look all the way down to the ground. We also have great ground clearance really right up here, so if you take this bad boy off-road, go into those dips, you're going to have plenty of clearance when it comes to this front end. Besides the big attitude under the hood, the other big story really is the overall numbers. Now, what you're going to see here on the 6-foot box is about 224 inches overall, with a wheelbase around about 140. Now, naturally, you decrease the cargo box, you're going to drop those numbers by about a foot. Now, as for the height, it's going to be just under 6 feet and just over 6 feet wide. Now, I talked about the ingress into this vehicle earlier. It's not bad, falling in just under 2 foot. What does that mean for ground clearance? Well, ground clearance is about average at about 8.1 inches. And again, what does that really mean? Well, we don't need these to be really operational. We really just need them to look cool. Swinging around to the business end of any truck, this is really where all the work gets done. Now, this is the crew cab model, and one thing to note, the extended cab does not have the diesel option. Now, what you're going to find back here is a lot of safety and some good kind of ingress features. First thing is really this rear bumper. Now, I like the fact we have non-slip grip here, the old standard step like we've always seen before here, but what Chevy does well is this side step. Now, you're going to find that on a lot of trucks, and that's really going to help you with getting in, especially when this is laid flat, because you're not going to be able to access that. One other nice feature is the added safety, and where you find that is in the backup camera. Now, what that allows you to do is get a bird's eye view back here, even better when towing, because that little camera really gets a nice view of that hitch, making trailering so much easier. Now, when you look into the cargo area, one thing to talk about really is this tailgate. A nice safety feature is the fact you're not going to hurt yourself. The way that works, let it go and it eases into place. Now, once this is open, what you're going to find is nice box. Now, this is the 6'2" version box. Now, there is a 5-foot one, this one delivering more space. Now, what you see here between the wheel wells is about 44 inches. Now, that's a little bit tight because your average kind of plywood's not going to fit there, but you can still fit about anything you want because overall it's about 57 inches wide. Diving a little bit closer into the cargo box, what you're going to notice really is this spray-in bed liner really is nice and tight and molds to everything in here. That versus the old school days where the bed liner really dropped in and kind of rattled around over the years. Now even better is the anchor points. Now nothing's real shocking back here. It's pretty much what you're going to see across the truck industry, but these are great to have to tie things down. Even better with the spray-in bed liner, even to the emblem here, it's nice and adorned in black, really goes well. On the inside of the Colorado, this is where the outside kind of matches. Well, it just feels so much bigger. One number that I always talk about is legroom. What you're going to find up front is around about 45 inches. Now, in my opinion, that's way more than most people need, especially with my 6-foot+ frame. Now, what does the extra mean laying around? Well, that's going to go to the back, because the back, not too bad, around about 35 inches. But again, we're easily going to creep these forward, give the back seat maybe 2 or 3 extra inches of breathing room. Any diesel is really going to show its colors when you climb on the inside, specifically when you turn the key. And what I'm referring to is the noise. Now, what you're going to find here on this particular model is, well, that's not horrible. With all the doors closed, it's going to give you somewhat of a rumble. Now, what you're also going to notice is when you stomp the gas, that horsepower numbers we talked about really deliver what you expect, not truly a lot. But what you're really going to get the bang for the buck on that is when it comes down to towing, really with those low RPMs kicking in and towing the big boy toys. Even though you're driving a truck, you don't want to feel rugged, and this right here on the dash makes you feel a lot more relaxed, specifically starting with the entertainment system. Now, what you're going to notice is the standard touch screen that you see across most of the Chevy. Now, what I like here is that you can, of course, have full screen when you're maybe using a radio, but even better, you have a nice simple home screen that really houses everything with one simple view. Then you can navigate around, even straight down to the weather. When setting the temperature in the car, this is where I want ease of use. One other feature I want is it to look nice and symmetric, and that's what we have here. Nice equally sized fan speed and temperature control. Now, what you're going to find in the middle is the mode select. All this nice, easy to use. Down low on the dash is where you're going to find a little bit of the electronics, maybe for the workability of this vehicle, really coming down to what they call the J brake or exhaust brake here when you're trailering, of course, traction control, and a nice cargo light when you need it at night. Now, this is going to be the kind of downhill descent using the cruise control. Now, down below is a little bit more creature comforts, really the heating of the seats. They have the back and the bottom combo if you need it. Everybody wants connectivity, and on this vehicle it has Bluetooth, but it also has a USB connection, auxiliary jack, and a power supply. Even better, a nice lower shelf to store the items. With the diesel engine doing all the work, one place you don't want to do it is right here behind the wheel when it comes to the transmission. I'm not a big fan of manual anyway, and I like the fact they couple it nicely with the 6-speed automatic. Now, looking at some other creature comforts, dual cup holders up here, another nice area to put those electronic devices, and what you have here is a nice oversized console. Now, first thing is the elbow support. Even better is the amount of storage. Now, what you're going to find once this is open, another USB connection, probably just there to maybe charge some more devices. Looking at the back seat, what I like here is the overall comfort, specifically when it comes down to this fabric. What you see is a decent leather with kind of a sport fabric in between. Now, we have kind of 3 niches, the outside getting individualized attention, the middle still not too bad, no true hump to speak of. Now, we do have even better comfort when it comes to elbow support. What you're going to notice is this is elevated, giving nice elbow height, and even better, nice dual cup holders. Now, you can transport this from people to cargo, and the way you do that is real easy. There's a little tug right here that's going to tumble it forward. Now, most of the time this is going to be a problem with the headrest. Most of the time you're going to have to take it out, not here. Instead, you press a button, it tucks down. This is going to make a nice flat area. Now, this comes really handy if you want to use this maybe for computers, maybe doing some invoices while you're going down the road. Last thing is connectivity back here. What you're going to find is 2 more USB connections and even more a power outlet. Now, that does it for this edition of Road Warrior, and a test drive behind the wheel of the 2016 Chevy Colorado. Now, this is the off-road version and has that diesel under the hood. A big shocker when this vehicle came up. Now, again, a lot of combination really comes down to the overall size, delivering that cargo, and the fact that we have room well for 5 people. Now, as always, thank you for watching this edition of Road Warrior. Keep both hands on the wheel and eyes straight ahead.